Welcome to my video series on the heroine's journey. I'm Susanna Liller, and it's time to find your happiness. So there has been so much over the past 10 years or more, encouraging, asking women to step up, lean in, speak up, have your voice be heard. The Me Too movement is part of this. The re-emergence of the women's movement. And women are speaking up and they are leaning in. And definitely women's voices are heard more now than ever before. But it might surprise you that women are still having issues with confidence. When I do my workshops and retreats and coach women as part of my school for real life heroines, I ask women to share something that I would be surprised to know about them. And 3/4 of the women respond that I lack confidence, that I lack self-esteem. So we are still battling that monster. And there's been so much good advice about it, about confidence and how to gain confidence. And having a confidence pose, using your body. I mean, there's tons of good advice out there. I wanted to showcase today a book that I have found enormously helpful. And it's the Confidence Code book by Katty Kay and Claire Shipman. And it's great. And as a coach for women and somebody who has done a lot of helping people find their confidence, I have used it, I've summarized it actually, to help women kind of quickly get the main points from this book. And what they say, Claire and Katty say, is it's really a choice. It comes down to a choice you make to do the following. And here are the things that they have a actually chapter for each of these, but take action. Action. You know how we can think and overthink. Take action. Choice to make decisions. Actually making the decision, even though you're afraid to make the wrong decision. Sometimes you have to make the mistakes in order to learn. Make decisions. Stand up for yourself. I have experienced being a doormat in my past, and eventually I had to stand up for myself. So, and that can be in big or little ways, but speaking up, standing up for yourself. If not you, then who's going to speak up for you? Saying no to perfection. So my coach is a lot younger than I am. He's in his early 30s. And he's got this theory that baby boomers, as I am one, are so much into perfection. And he is such a breath of fresh air because when he's presenting, sometimes he'll make a spelling mistake and he'll say, I'm dyslexic. Is this what's going to happen? I'm not going to get worried about it. I spent so many years, and maybe this was my English teacher background, just getting so wound up about some stupid little typo that went out. So say no to perfection, accept praise. Okay, women, accept praise. No more, oh, yeah, I just threw this on, or, oh, yours is so much prettier, and accept praise. Limit negative thinking. And we've talked a lot about that already in this series, but it's not helping. It does nothing to help you. And if you believe, as I do, that what you think is what happens, or that it definitely affects the world around you and how you see things and what transpires, then be aware of your negative thinking and limit it, is what they recommend. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. Learn your lesson and move on, and don't keep it hovering over you. Let it go. It's okay to fail. Know that men and women have different models for success. And I think this was my biggest aha in the whole book. And I'll talk about that more in a second. But their last one is be yourself. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken, right? And you were put on in the world to have your own brand and power of what you do, and we'll miss it if you don't bring it out. So be yourself. So that whole idea of men and women having a different brand of success, what success looks like. And let me just say this at the onset, that this is generalizing, that not all men are this way, not all women are this way, but in general, there has been sort of a different look to what a successful man looks like and what he's doing and how he's acting. And is the way a woman is successful supposed to look like that, or is it different? So in the confidence code, they talk about sort of the gold standard resembling, and I think it's changing, but resembling sort of the Mad Men movie, TV series, kind of what success looks like. So men who were doing everything to get ahead and to achieve and compete and take risks, and there's this drive to win and being very assertive and sometimes aggressive and taking big chances, and sometimes that means screwing over other people or not, but just a very proactive, go in there and fight the good fight and get ahead. And then there's, what's the female brand of confidence? What might that look like? And in order to judge if a woman's successful, do we have to see her acting like that, taking risks, quick decisions, being very assertive, being very proactive, jumping into the middle of conversations, interrupting? I remember when I was at this big male manufacturing company, very hierarchical, few women. One of the first things I learned was if I wanted to be heard, I had to interrupt, because that's how you got yourself heard. You spoke up, and even I had been taught you never interrupt, but I learned to interrupt because that's how I was going to speak up. But that's more the male model. So what does the female model look like? And they tell us, and I want to read to you, they ask us to consider, what might our female brand of confidence look like? We don't always have to speak first. We can listen and incorporate what others say, and perhaps even rely on colleagues to help make our point. We can pass credit around. We can avoid alienated potential enemies. We can speak calmly, but carry a smart message, one that will be heard. So you don't have to shout. You don't have to have a big voice. You can speak calmly and people will still hear our message. Confidence for many of us can be quiet. It can be quiet. Somebody who just does a lot of listening and doesn't speak up until she really has something she wants to say. It can even allow for displays of vulnerability. That might look like saying, I don't know. Will you say more about that? Will you please explain to me? Help me understand what's going on for you or what you just explained. Can allow for being okay with questioning our decisions, reviewing decisions with an eye toward improvement is a strength, as is admitting mistakes. Saying, okay, I just outlined what I think we need to do, but I know that I don't know everything. What can you tell me? What have I missed? Allowing that there's room for, I haven't seen it all. So a much more open, vulnerable, quiet way to be a leader is what they're saying, or displaying confidence. And that to me was so it really gave me the freedom to be my own type of confidence. I didn't have to look like those interrupting men in those meetings. It was okay to take time to respond and ask questions and be vulnerable if I had to be. And women can do it differently. So I, of course, probably like every coach, I'm an encourager. I am one who will say, of course you can do it. I know you can do it. You're smart. You're amazing. You know so much. I'm giving them a lot of verbal encouragement as I work with my clients and the students in my school. And I know that that helps. But it's sort of an external way to help. It's sort of like putting stickies on people. You're amazing. You're wonderful. It's sort of, which can easily fall off, right? When you get in a sticky situation. So I've looked at ways, well, I've chosen a way, the heroine's journey way, to make it internal, to deal with a person's identity. Like, who are you really? Who are you? And I go to this story, the journey of the hero or the journey of the heroine, that has been around with its message for thousands of years. Storytellers have told it. It's been in our literature, in our movies. It still is. We just can't seem to let go of telling this story about transformation of an ordinary person into a hero or a heroine, because it's our story, it's our potential, it's the promise we have as human beings. And the story, of course, says in order to be this, you have to listen for a call and answer it and leave your comfort zone. And you listening to me, you probably know it better than I do by now. But I hammer that home with people. I ask them, okay, have you ever left your comfort zone? You did? Oh, was that hard? Yes. And what did that do? Well, it changed my life. If I hadn't left that, well, come on, that's in your core. You have been on this incredible, epic, ages old journey. You are a heroine. That's, don't point to other people and say, well, they are, I'm not. Maybe a book hasn't been written about you or a movie, but you have been transformed because of what you've done. So that potential is given to all of us. All of us, we have it. And this is, why do you think storytellers, why has it lasted so long if it wasn't an important message for everybody to get? This is your inheritance. You're like the acorn that is going to be an oak. It's inside of you. You just don't know it. You don't know the story, or you don't realize it's not just in stories, it's in your life. It's real. You are a real life heroine. I guess you can tell I feel strongly about this. So this is how I try to embed inside the confidence. Oh, I've been given this amazing life potential, and you're telling me I've already been doing it. I just don't know it. I just don't know I've been on this journey of transformation. And now that I know I'm one of those journeyers, wow, yeah, okay, that's something. That gives me confidence. So I hope that this seeps into you, into your cellular level, and you get that you are a heroine. Thank you for joining me. We'll talk again soon, I hope. And join me on Facebook and Instagram, on my blog and in my podcast. It's basically the same message. You are a heroine and you need to know it.